Welcome to Baseball Mondays.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Baseball Mondays. I am your host, Nick. Today you're listening to the 6th edition of Baseball Mondays, episode 6. Today I have a great episode for you guys. We are going to talk about a ton of things. So before we get into it, as always, you can get this podcast on Apple Podcast, on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of the new videos dropping. You can follow us on all social media at Baseball Mondays. That is Instagram, that is TikTok, that is X. Nick Talking Ball on X. I tweet about the Dodgers. I tweet about all baseball things, breakdowns on pitchers, hitters, all that kind of stuff. Great follow on X if you are interested in that kind of stuff. So let's waste no time. Let's get right into it today. First off, we're going to start about the mess of the Boston Red Sox, their front office. Obviously, the firing of longtime manager Alex Cora. That's where we're going to spend most of our talking points today in the beginning of the podcast. Then we're going to go to the slugger of the South Side, the Chicago White Sox slugger, Murakami. I'm going to break him down, just give him some credit. Then we're going to do some first month awards. All right, it's officially been 1 month into the regular season. I'm going to talk about my power rankings of the Rookie of the Years, the Cy Youngs, and the MVPs. Who are the award winners 1 month into the year? Then we'll do Nick's Monday Power Rankings. Spoiler alert, there is a new team among the top of the list at the Power Rankings, okay? Then at the very end, before I get you guys out of here, what to look forward to this upcoming week. Let's get into the Boston Red Sox and Alex Cora. There is so much to talk about here. I got a lot of info, a lot of thoughts, and a lot of this craziness that has gone on with the Red Sox. So, of course, let's set it up. The Boston Red Sox, last placed in the AL East, tied for the worst record in Major League Baseball at 11-17. Swept at home during this previous week by the Yankees. They are 4-6 in their last 10. They did actually win a couple games over the weekend against the Orioles when the firing of Cora took place, but that is where we stand. Unfortunately, in sports and in Major League Baseball, when a team underperforms, when a team is struggling, usually people on the coaching staff, whether it's the manager, hitting coach, pitching coach, whoever, they usually are the first to take the blame, and sometimes it results in them losing their job. Almost 9 times out of 10, it is kind of not even fair, because at the end of the day, the manager, Alex Cora, can't go out there and win games for you. He can just put you in the best position to be successful, but can't physically go out there and do anything. But it is the world we live in. People got to pay the price. Expectations, especially in a big city and a big town like Boston, where they have big expectations. So most people, including myself, pick the Red Sox to be about a 90-win team and to be in the postseason. I picked the Red Sox to be in the postseason. They were one of my sleeper teams. Okay, one of the teams that I'm high on this year, the Detroit Tigers. Obviously, there's other teams like the Dodgers who are very good. The Red Sox were one of those teams that were at the top of my list of sleeper teams. Like, don't be surprised if you look up and see this team in the ALCS go on a deep run. I loved a lot of their pieces. Obviously, 1 month into the year, they have been one of the worst teams in the game. And right now, they are projected to win about 80 games, not even make the playoffs. Cora's dismissal is the earliest managerial firing into a season since 2018, where the Cincinnati Reds fired their manager at the time about 27 games into the year. So the earliest managerial firing in about 8 years. There were 5 coaches that were involved in the firing. The Red Sox just completely cleaned house. Obviously, we have Cora as the manager. They also let go of their bench coach, Ramon Vasquez, their third base coach, Kyle Hudson, their hitting coach, Peter Fatse, and then assistant hitting coach, Dylan Lawson, and then hitting strategist, Joe Cronin. Jason Varitek will be offered a different role within the organizations. I believe it was kind of announced at first that he was fired, but then they kind of switched up, and he will still remain in the organization, just won't be a part of the strategy team, bench coach, any of that stuff. So these coaches are mostly everyone outside of the pitching coaches. Those are pretty much all the people fired. Like I said, hitting coaches, base coaches, third base coach, bench coaches, obviously Cora. So what does that tell you? Craig Breslow, the chief of baseball operations, he's not happy with everything surrounding the Red Sox offense, okay? The Red Sox have the 7th worst team on base percentage. They have the 3rd worst slugging percentage, the 4th worst OPS. They are dead last in home runs. This is a shocking move. Shocking to get rid of Alex Cora, who is widely considered as one of the better managers in the game, baseball minds in the game. And what this continues is a questionable process of the Red Sox front office, their ownership, and the connection with the players and the coaching staff. In 2025, we had the Rafael Devers fiasco. Obviously, if you go back, Rafael Devers was one of the longtime stars of the Red Sox, third baseman, signed Alex Bregman to play third base, created a whole drama fiasco. Bregman playing third base obviously is a much better defender than Devers, who was never a good defensive third baseman, but he did not want to slide over. He did not want to leave third base. He did not want to go play first base. He ended up having to DH a lot. It was one of those just awful things. He did not want to. He just became very difficult. The Red Sox organization, the coaching staff, the front office were just not able to just mend that relationship, weren't able to just make things work. It made things completely, and to a certain extent, like, can you blame Rafael Devers? Like, hey, I'm the guy of this organization. I'm the face. Ever since you guys traded away Mookie Betts, I'm the guy. And, you brought in a guy who plays my position. I deserve to be a little bit chapped. He could have been a little bit easier about it, a little bit more, just a team guy. But, he took his stance. He wanted to be difficult. The Red Sox were not able to mend that bad relationship. And what ended up happening, they were forced to offload him in June. If you go back and look at some of the things that have happened with the people in that deal, they didn't really get anything for Devers. I mean, the only thing that they did was just get a big amount of money off their payroll. I just think that the Boston Red Sox front office, the GMs, the chief of baseball operations, the CEOs, all the people upstairs have really seemed to lack a lot of feel, and they really just seem to lack a lot of that personal relationships that are important within an organization, not just with the players, but with the coaching staff. And there obviously were big disagreements because they completely cleaned house. After the firings, the CEO of the Red Sox, Sam Kennedy, and Craig Breslow met with the media in Baltimore. John Henry, the owner of the Boston Red Sox, was not in attendance. So the guy who's paying everybody's bills, the guy who's at the very top, was not in attendance to speak to the media. He did give out a press release, kind of, thanking Cora for his time and all that kind of stuff. But again, he didn't face the media. I could have missed if he has faced the media since the trade, of course, or since the firing. This happened on Saturday night, but that's where we stand right now. Okay, let's go back a little bit to when Craig Breslow, the chief of baseball operations, basically the guy running all the stuff on the field, running the players, all that kind of stuff, all those big-time decisions that go into the Red Sox being the Red Sox. Craig Breslow is the head of the snake. He's the one who makes those decisions. He was hired in 2023, and what made Craig Breslow an interesting and a potentially great hiring was that he was viewed as a perfect combination of a savvy, analytical baseball mind with the experience of playing in the big leagues for over a decade. Okay, so he was a relief pitcher who played for the Red Sox and a handful of other teams. Again, a guy who was a analytical baseball nerd, as I'm pretty sure he used in his press conference. A very smart, edgy guy, very savvy. But on top of that, he has that baseball feel. He has that experience of being in a clubhouse, what it takes to be away from your family, grind it out for 6-7 months out of the year, win a championship. He was a part of that 2013 Red Sox championship team. Perfect combination of baseball savvy, but hey, experience. I've done this. I'm not just some nerd that went to an Ivy League school, got a degree in economics, and now I'm a really smart guy running the team. He was a perfect combination of that. That has not come to fruition so far. Someone who had the credibility to earn the trust and relationship with players. So far, the Red Sox chief of baseball operations has failed to do just that. He has failed to create that combination of trust and a process and front office to coaches to players, a group that comes together and really has like a true understanding of what we're trying to accomplish. I'm going to read you some quotes from Garrett Whitlock and Trevor Story over the weekend, reactions to the firing of their manager, obviously. They made it very clear. We get paid to play baseball, and we just need to focus on playing baseball. We're just here to play baseball. That's it. We don't get to make decisions. Those sound like two veteran players who are not happy with this decision, okay? And what it is sounding like is that whether it's Craig Breslow, the owner, the front office, everybody involved, whoever is telling the Red Sox, hey, you guys just play. Don't worry about any of this stuff. You don't get paid to worry about this stuff. Just play baseball. Don't worry about the decisions above your heads. Okay, so where do we go from here? Chad Tracy. He is now named as the interim manager. He was previously the AAA manager for the Red Sox, the Worcester Woo Sox, okay? So there are positives to look, to kind of positive spins about this. He does have a relationship with a lot of the young players that have come up through this Red Sox organization. Cedane Rafaela, Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, a lot of these young guys, Peyton, like all the young players, Connor Wong, all these guys on the team that have made this, potentially exciting teams to go forward, all the young players, all the top prospects. Tracy has coached and managed a lot of these guys in AAA. So he has a familiarity with a lot of them. They have a familiarity and comfortability with him. Maybe that is part of this decision. Risky move, okay? Before I get to the Alex Cora, part of this, I just wanted to, again, continue to talk about the Red Sox, and it's just, I am an analytical person, so I do believe in numbers and analytics and projections and, expected statistics and all that kind of stuff, but, there is something to say that when you are running an organization, when you are putting these people in place, the number one thing that you should probably try to accomplish, other than like having good players, maybe even before having good players, is a relationship with everyone that's involved in the organization. Your team and staff of R&D, research and development, and your front office nerds per se, the smart guys that are doing all this fancy stuff, giving you all these numbers. The coaching staff, the guys who are out there throwing BP, hitting ground balls, the training staff, the people who take care of the players' health, the trainers, the players themselves. All that should be a cohesive unit and a understanding of what we're trying to accomplish here. Now, again, maybe this was a situation where the Red Sox front office and the guys upstairs were trying to give Alex Cora and a lot of these guys on the offensive side some pointers, some numbers, some, whatever the case may be, and they were just rebelling against them, not listening, and the Red Sox made the decision, hey, either listen to us or you're going to get fired. And that, who knows? I think that we'll never fully know what really goes down. Of course, we're never going to know the true story, but it's just, in a city like Boston with a team that was expected to win, first of all, you're putting a ton of pressure on, again, the young players, the players in general. Chad Tracy, who has to come up from AAA and now manage the Boston Red Sox. And, the thing I would ask is, like, what do you gain out of firing Alex Cora not even 30 games into the regular season? We're not even into May, and you just fired Alex Cora. Is that really what you want to do? Is that the message you want to send to your players? Is that the kind of potential chaos you want to create in the clubhouse? Because again, I like analytics. I'm all for it. If you listen to both podcasts that I make, they are, 90% about analytics and the numbers and getting a deeper look into baseball things. Okay, I'm all for that kind of stuff. But there is something to say that these are human beings in there, and a relationship and the clubhouse camaraderie and all that stuff is real. Okay, it is real important to have a close-knit team that loves each other, that cares for each other, that works hard, shows up every day, works hard for the coaching staff. In the same thing, those coaches are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. They got to show up every day ready to, be therapists for players, give their insight, show the players what they see when they're struggling, when they're playing successfully. They got to hit ground balls. They got to do all this stuff. And when you fire half the staff and clean house like this, is it worth that to potentially throw a monkey wrench in what already has been a bad season for the Red Sox? Again, maybe the way to look at it is, hey, we weren't getting the level of production we want, so we got to make changes. We're not trying to just, throw in the towel this year and make a change at the end of the year. We think that a different voice in the room, different voices, maybe 5 or 6 different voices, can change the trajectory of this season. Obviously, it's still very early. The Red Sox can get back in it. I wouldn't be shocked if they got back in the postseason race. I picked them to make the playoffs. So it just seems that Craig Breslow, John Henry, some questionable moves the last couple of years. And it's just very questionable. It does not seem that they have a great feel for the clubhouse and that combination of front office, coaching staff, and players. You shouldn't look at those as separate entities. You are all one organization that should be intertwined, comfortable with each other. I get it. Sometimes you're going to butt heads. Not everyone is going to agree, but they seem to not have a great feel for these kind of things right now. Not being able to fix that relationship with Rafael Devers a year ago. You ended up trading him. You brought in Alex Bregman, but then you didn't even re-sign him. After all that mess with Rafael Devers, you didn't even re-sign Alex Bregman after that first year. You relied on a lot of guys. You brought in Caleb Durbin to replace Alex Bregman, and this is no shot at Caleb Durbin. He was a nice player who had a solid season with the Brewers last year. You're bringing him into the Boston Red Sox to replace Alex Bregman. You guys put a lot of pressure on the shoulders of young 21-year-old, 22-year-old Roman Anthony. Yes, I believe he's one of the better players in the game and will be, and he is going to be a superstar. But that's a lot to come in and not even have played 100 games in your big league career and be the savior of the franchise. That's a lot. Okay, so I think that the Red Sox organizationally have to figure out a lot of these kind of things, because the last thing you want to do is create chaos within that clubhouse, because at the end of the day, those are the players, those are the people that are winning you games, and those are the most important people, is the players. Okay, so let's go to the Alex Cora part of this. Really shocking that he was let go. Cora is an interesting guy because he has one World Series ring. It doesn't necessarily, is not like, Dave Roberts, who has multiple championships, or like Bruce Bochy a couple years ago, multiple championships. But if you ask a lot of people in Major League Baseball who is the best baseball manager, who is the best mind, a lot of people would tell you Alex Cora. There are many people who believe he is one of the smartest managers in the game, one of the just straight up one of the best managers in the game, regarded as one of the strongest baseball minds in the game today. And he was also beloved in Boston by the players and the fans. A big-time players manager. A lot of guys loved him. There were a lot of players. Mookie Betts, I'm a Dodgers fan, so I know a lot about Mookie Betts. He openly talked about how he loves Alex Cora and thinks he's one of the best managers in the game. Okay, that's Mookie Betts. That's a Hall of Famer giving you all-time praise. A lot of players, a lot of people love Alex Cora, and the fans even love Alex Cora. And again, to even show how much he was beloved and how much, how smart Cora was and how much he was, how well-regarded he was, this is a guy who was involved in the cheating scandal, the sign stealing scandal with the Astros in 2017. A lot of people say that him and Carlos Beltran were the starters of all that. They were the minds of all that. They were the ones who created that. They were the true mind behind the cheating scandal. A lot of people say that. And as a result of that, when all that came out eventually a couple years after, Cora at the time was a bench coach for the Astros. He eventually became the manager of the Red Sox 2018, won 108 games, won the World Series. 2020, he was suspended for the entire season because of his, because of his contributions to the cheating scandal. And this is a guy who, even with all that baggage and all that negative attention, as soon as his suspension was up at the end of 2020, he was immediately rehired by the Red Sox. So they did not care about any of that. And again, the fans, everybody was excited for him to be back. Nobody cared about any of that because they were like, this is a guy we need. This is a guy we need to get back to a World Series. It just shows that he is as regarded as highly regarded as it gets in terms of managers. And, with all that said, what's next for Cora and where do we go from here? If you're Alex Cora, you could sit on the beach, enjoy the rest of 2026. You could relax. The Red Sox are going to pay you $13 million over the next year. They owe you over $13 million. You could sit at home and do nothing. If he waits till 2027, he'll be the biggest free agent on the managerial market. All right. Every team that has a vacant managerial spot will be knocking on the door of Alex Cora, rebuilding teams in contention, all that. They'll be knocking on Cora's door. Can he jump right back into things now in 2026? The two teams that come to mind right away, the Philadelphia Phillies, the New York Mets, the two teams that are the biggest outside of the Red Sox, two teams that are struggling the most right now. The first team on paper that makes the most sense, the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay, Dave Dombrowski, the man who is the general manager of the Phillies, is the same man who hired Alex Cora to manage the Boston Red Sox the year that they won the World Series. Okay, the Phillies are in the midst of a 1-9 stretch over their last 10. Okay, they won their first game in a long time this weekend in Atlanta. They continued to, but they still lost 2 out of 3. They've been struggling. A lot of connections there. Dave Dombrowski and obviously Alex Cora. That would be, something I could see. The Mets, they've lost 12 in a row. They lost 12 in a row. Then they ended up finishing off that losing streak, and then they ended up getting swept by the Rockies at home. So the Mets have not put a stop to any kind of losing streak. Would they be, opposed to firing Mendoza and going after Alex Cora? Would the Phillies be opposed to firing Rob Thompson, and bringing in Alex Cora? I don't know. That is something that hasn't happened in a long time. I tried looking it up. When's the last time a manager was fired and then hired by a new team in the same season during the regular season? I wasn't even able to find when the last time that happened. The only time in baseball history that I could see is Billy Martin back in the day. Something like that had happened before. So not really something that happens very often. The most likely option for Cora, he gets hired by a new team later this October/November. Some team that's looking to get over the hump. Maybe it's one of these teams, the Phillies and Mets, but it's more likely, after the season. So we'll see how it plays out. The Red Sox are in a mess right now. I wouldn't be shocked to see them get back in the race, but just really shocking stuff about the way they have handled their organization the last couple of years, the way that they handled this firing, cleaning house completely. More than 5 people fired in that front off in that dugout. Just crazy stuff. We'll see what happens with Cora going forward, what happens with the Red Sox, what happens with the Phillies and Mets, those two teams. Leave a comment below. If you're a Phillies fan or a Mets fan, would you like to bring in Alex Cora? If you're a Red Sox fan, leave a comment below. What is your thoughts about the way the organization has treated some of these coaches, managers, and players the last couple of years? What is your thoughts on John Henry, Craig Breslow, all that stuff? Give it to me below. So let's go to the next topic that I have for you guys. The slugger on the South Side. Is he the best slugger in baseball right now? A Japanese-born player? No, not Shohei Ohtani. A former MVP? No, not named Aaron Judge. A 3 true outcome player? That means walks, strikeouts, and home runs. Not named Kyle Schwarber. I am talking about Munetaka Murakami, the left-handed first baseman, rookie slugger of the Chicago White Sox, who is going off right now. He was a little bit colder over this weekend, but he is putting up some monster numbers and maybe making a lot of people look foolish over this past offseason who were very concerned about, his swing and miss numbers, his strikeout rate, and all that kind of stuff. Leading Major League Baseball with 11 home runs, a .566 slugging percentage, is 9th in Major League Baseball. He has a weighted runs created plus of 149. That is monstrous. Okay, let's check out some of these metrics about Murakami. Let's check out, why is he this unique hitter? He is a 3 true outcome player. If you've never heard of that, that means walks, strikeouts, and home runs. 3 true outcomes. But let's get into some of these metrics about what he's doing at the plate. He is 12th in expected WOBA. He is 9th in expected slugging percentage, 9th in average exit velocity, 4th in barrel percentage, 6th in hard hit rate. He's elite at controlling the strike zone. Okay, that is part of the reason as to why he walks a lot. 21.3% chase rate is one of the best in the league. He has the 9th best walk percentage in Major League Baseball. Now, on the flip side, he has the 8th highest strikeout rate in Major League Baseball, the 2nd highest whiff rate in Major League Baseball. So there's only one player in Major League Baseball who swings and misses more than Murakami. That is Matt Wallner of the Minnesota Twins. He is the 8th highest fly ball rate. He is not going to swing at pitches out of the strike zone. He's going to walk a lot, so he's going to get on base a ton. He is going to get his A swing off. He is trying to do one thing: launch the ball out of the ballpark. He's trying to pull the baseball, hit it in the air, and hit it hard. And as a result of that, he is going to swing and miss a lot. Okay? He is not going to be great against breaking balls. He is very Kyle Schwarber-esque. If you guys remember Adam Dunn back in the day, just someone who is up there who is trying to do one thing: launch the ball out of the ballpark. I know that Major League Baseball and a lot of fans have tried to get away from stuff like this. We want to see more athleticism. We don't want to see just strikeouts, walks, and homers. But it just shows that you can swing and miss, and you can strike out, and you could still be a successful big league hitter. You just got to do these other things. Obviously, if you strike out and you swing and miss and you don't get on base and hit for power, then you're going to be in the minor leagues. But it just shows, shout out to Murakami, because so many people, it became, one of the stories of the offseason. He was a guy who was projected to possibly get anywhere from 120, 150, maybe even $200 million on the free agent market. A lot of people had him going to the Red Sox, maybe even the Mets. The Mariners were involved. All those teams were involved, a couple other teams, and it, when it came down to his posting period, when players come over from Japan, they have a period of a period of time that they have to sign by, and if you don't sign by that time, you go back to Japan. And a lot of teams were scared away by his strikeout rate, his swing and miss rates. We're not sure if it was going to translate to the major league level. And if you actually go back a little less than 10 years ago, there was a lot of similar noise about another left-handed Japanese slugger by the name of Shohei Ohtani. And he has been pretty much the second best offensive player in the sport since he debuted behind Aaron Judge. So it just shows that, Japanese players can come over here and, are they gonna immediately become elite? No. But, certain guys have unique styles about the way they hit. I've talked about this plenty of times before. You have guys who are aggressive, who are not going to walk a lot, who are going to put the ball in play, maybe hit for average. You have some guys who are going to be a little bit more passive, wait for their pitch, walk a lot, get deeper into the count. Some guys are looking to get their A swing off. Some guys are looking to just put the ball in play. Everybody's different. This is MLB is not a cookie cutter sport. There's not one way to be successful. There's not one way to go about it. Just look at, the way everybody stands nobody has the same stance. Nobody has the same swing. Nobody gets to these numbers the same way. But it just shows that you can be unique in the way you do it. Murakami is going to have, probably is going to lead the league in strikeouts or be up there. 8th highest K rate in Major League Baseball with the 2nd highest whiff rate. So he's going to swing and miss a lot, and he's going to strike out, and he's going to go through cold stretches. But he's going to hit the ball as hard as anyone in the game. He's going to pull the ball. He's going to hit the ball in the air as much as anyone in the game. He's probably going to hit 40 home runs. I would not be shocked his first year in Major League Baseball if he hits 40 home runs. And when you consider his incredible on-base and chase skills, he's going to have a good on-base. He might hit 200 or even less maybe. But this is going to be a guy who hits 30 home runs for sure, probably 40. He's going to have an on-base of 350 or higher. He's going to have a walk rate of 15% or higher. That's all great. Will he hit 200? I have no idea. He might hit 180. But I just want to give him some credit. When you look at weighted runs created plus, which is a great number that just shows, just kind of ranks every hitter in Major League Baseball. He is the 20th best hitter in the game right now. So credit to Murakami. He's been great for a White Sox team that is becoming more and more exciting. He signed the 2-year deal. Super interesting to see would the Sox consider trading him to get something back for him, because there's a good chance in 2 years when he's a free agent, he is going to, if he keeps this up, he's going to get signed by a bigger market team and leave. Would they be interested in that? I would believe not, because I'm sure that like 90% of their, of the people coming to see White Sox games right now are interested in seeing Murakami. So do you want to really risk trading that away? I have no idea. It would depend if somebody came knocking on the door this July to trade for him. So very interesting. Only 26 years old. He will hit the free agent market at 28 years old. If he continues to do this, obviously we're only 1 month in, but if he continues to do stuff like this, he's going to get himself paid and prove a lot of people wrong from a lot of things that we heard this offseason. So let's go to my awards, all right? We're officially 1 month into Major League Baseball. So who are my favorites to win Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, MVP? These are not who I think is going to win the award. This is right now, if the season ended, who would be my award winners. All right, so let's start with Rookie of the Year. We're going to start in the American League. Let's start from top to bottom. I'll give you 3 finalists. We just talked about Murakami. He leads all AL rookies by far in home runs with 11. He has the 9th best slugging percentage in the game and a weighted runs created plus of 149. He is third, but believe it or not, there are 2 guys above him that are actually a little bit better. We got a pitcher of the Cleveland Guardians, Parker Messick, by far the best AL rookie starter. Second in the AL in ERA, 4th in the AL in FIP, 4th in the American League in WHIP, 7th in the AL in batting average against. He has actually been elite so far on the mound. That's why I have him a little bit above Murakami in the awards. Winning the award, Kevin McGonigal. All right, this was my pick to win AL Rookie of the Year, so it's looking good right now. He leads all AL rookies in hits, batting average, on-base percentage, weighted runs created plus, and WAR. McGonigal has been the best player on a Tigers team that is looking good right now. 3rd best weighted runs created plus in the American League among all hitters. So that's not just rookies. McGonigal would win the Rookie of the Year right now. Let's go to the National League. In the 3rd spot, we got Moises Ballesteros, the catcher/DH of the Chicago Cubs. Doesn't have as many at-bats as a couple other guys, but he is the 2nd best NL rookie offensive player right now behind Sal Stewart. He has a 446 on base with a 690 slugging percentage. He has a very high offensive stealing. Let's go to Nolan McLean. He would finish 2nd in the NL rookie right now. 2nd best expected FIP among NL rookie starting pitchers. 2nd best expected FIP among all NL starting pitchers. So just take out Rookie of the Year, take out rookie. Nolan McLean has been one of the best pitchers in the NL, regardless. 4th best in the National League in batting average against, and he has the 2nd best K rate in the NL. But at the top of the list, I have Sal Stewart, who has been amazing offensively. By far the best National League rookie. He is the 3rd best weighted runs created plus in the National League at 164. The 3rd best slugging percentage in the NL and the 2nd best OPS in the NL. Sal Stewart, Kevin McGonigal, those are the guys at the top of the Rookie of the Year awards as we stand 1 year into the season. Let's go to the Cy Young. Let's start in the American League. Parker Messick, who I just talked about, would finish 2nd in the Rookie of the Year. I have him 3rd in the Cy Young award. By far, like I said, the best AL rookie starting pitcher. I just gave you his numbers a minute ago. 2nd in the AL in ERA. Parker Messick is right now the ace of a very nice starting pitching rotation for the Cleveland Guardians. 2nd place, Cam Schlittler of the New York Yankees. Right now, a very loaded Yankees rotation. Cam Schlittler is at the top of that. All right, he is 1st in the American League in expected FIP, 3rd in the American League in ERA. He is 3rd in the American League in strikeout rate. He is 4th in batting average against in the American League. There has really only been one pitcher in the American League that's been better than Schlittler, and that is this man, Jose Soriano. Leads all of Major League Baseball with an ERA of .24. The 7th best K per 9 in the AL, 3rd best ground ball percentage in the AL, and he's 1st in batting average in the American League. Jose Soriano would win the Cy Young right now if the season ended today. Let's go to the NL Cy Young. All right, this is a little bit more interesting. In the 3rd place, I got Christopher Sanchez of the Philadelphia Phillies. 1st in the National League in expected FIP, 7th in strikeout rate, and he has an ERA of .294. The ace of the Philadelphia Phillies right now, who just got back Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, he would come in at 3rd. 2nd place, Mason Miller. Yes. a reliever, the closer of the San Diego Padres. If you just looked at who's been the best pitcher in the sport right now, regardless of starter or reliever, it would be Mason Miller. Check this out. He has an expected FIP of negative .04. I have never seen anything like that. A negative when it comes to expected fielding independent pitching. That is crazy. A .71 batting average, a batting average under 100. That's second lowest among all pitchers in the sport. 61.4% K rate, by far the highest in Major League Baseball. The most dominant force in the game right now is Mason Miller. He would come in at second. The only reason I don't have him one is because I think it's going to be difficult for a reliever to win the award. In first place, believe it or not, Tyler Glasnow of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who I believe right now is the favorite to win the award. First in the National League in starting pitching WAR. Fourth in expected FIP. He has the third highest K rate. Second in batting average against Tyler Glasnow. The formerly injury-prone pitcher, hopefully he could stay healthy, has been putting up some gnarly numbers on a loaded Dodgers rotation between Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani. Don't sleep on Justin Robleski, by the way. Tyler Glasnow. Let's go to the MVP awards. All right, if the season ended today, these would be the MVPs. These are my MVPs a month into the season. In the American League, that's right, Mike Trout is back. All right, he is the 8th best on-base percentage in the American League. He is 8th in slugging percentage, 3rd in OPS, 4th in weighted runs created plus. He is 5th in WAR. Mike Trout right now is on pace to hit about 50 home runs. I would love to see him stay healthy. I gave you guys the numbers on how much of an all-time great he is a week ago. Mike Trout comes in at 3rd, a month into the season of AL MVP voting. My voting, that is. Let's go to the 2 spot. It is a New York Yankee that is not named Aaron Judge. Ben Rice, who has basically been the second best hitter in the American League behind the guy who's in the 1 spot. Second in the AL in on-base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, and weighted runs created plus. The second best hitter in the game, the second best hitter in the American League behind this guy, the guy who I have as the MVP of the AL right now, Yordan Alvarez of the Houston Astros. He is back and healthy in a big way. Leads the MLB in home runs, first in AL in average, on-base, slugging, OPS, and weighted runs created plus. He's basically leading the American League in every major offensive category. He has been the best hitter in the sport this year. And then last, to sum things up in the National League, we got some shockers here. No Shohei Ohtani. No Mookie Betts. No Ronald Acuna. No Fernando Tatis. In the 3 spot, would you believe Nico Horner, who is first in the National League in WAR, 15th in weighted runs created plus, 12th in batting average, 13 in on-base percentage. He has improved the slugging and offensive numbers. When you pair that with his defense and base running, you get the most valuable player in the NL right now. Nico Horner's in the 3 spot. How about in the 2 spot? Matt Olson of the surging, red-hot Atlanta Braves. He is second in the NL in slugging percentage, 3rd in OPS, 2nd in weighted runs created plus, and 3rd in WAR. One of the better players in the NL right now. He is an Iron Man that plays every day. I think he's played like 800 consecutive games, and he has been pretty much the second best player in the NL. He would come in at second, but don't sleep on the 1 spot. In the 1 spot, Max Muncy, the 3rd baseman of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He leads the National League in slugging percentage, OPS, and weighted runs created plus. 2nd in home runs, 2nd in WAR. Muncy has been incredible offensively. If you go back to about a year ago, since he started wearing glasses when he got off to a horrific start in 2025, he has been one of the best offensive players in the game going on a year now. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He's dealt with some injuries the last couple of years. He's actually played great defense at 3rd base this year, which is unlike him. One of the better on-base hitters in the game. He's always going to slug. If he keeps playing like this, he's going to hit, he's going to have one of his better years. And he's been a great player since 2018. Max Muncy. So just wanted to give some guys some credit. A little bit of we're a month into the year now, so we can actually look at these things and give some credence and give some credit to some guys who have got off to great starts. Those would be the awards. Those are my award winners so far, 1 month into the Major League season. Let's get to pretty much the last thing we're going to talk about today. Let's get to Nick's Monday Power Rankings. All right. And again, a spoiler alert, we have a new team at the top. So it is not the Dodgers, who have been at the top of this list ever since the season started. Let me give you last week's power rankings. In the 1 spot, we had the Los Angeles Dodgers. In the 2 spot, we had the Atlanta Braves. In the 3 spot, we had the New York Yankees. The 4 spot, we had the San Diego Padres. 5th, Milwaukee Brewers. 6th, Pirates. 7, Guardians. 8, Cubs. 9, Tigers. And then at 10 was the Cincinnati Reds. So let's go ahead and get to this week's power rankings. Let's get to 10. Down a few spots, the Milwaukee Brewers. All right. I'm a little bit concerned about the Brew Crew right now. They are second to last in slugging percentage in Major League Baseball. They have the 5th worst OPS, but they are 8th in team ERA. They are always going to be able to pitch. They are one of the better teams in the sport when it comes to developing pitching. There's no doubt in my team. There's no doubt in my mind that this team's going to get better. I trust the Brewers. I picked them to win the division. I still think if I had to bet money on it, I would pick the Brewers to win the division. They will get healthier. They will get better. The offense will improve. But it is noteworthy that they are not slugging right now. Let's go to the 9 spot. In the same spot as a week ago, the Detroit Tigers. 6th best OPS in Major League Baseball. 7th best on base percentage. They have the 8th best team starting ERA. Spencer Torkelson and Riley Green have gotten going. Torkelson has homered in 5 straight games. He is raking. Those were 2 guys a week ago that I was looking forward to getting going. I think this Tigers team is scary. They're going to keep getting better. Obviously, Skubal, McGonigal, those guys have been great. Dylan Dingler has been one of the better catchers in the game. Great starting pitching. The offense is going to come around. I expect this team by the end of the year to be one of the 5 best teams in the league. In the 8th spot, we have down a spot from a week ago, the Cleveland Guardians. Similar to the Milwaukee Brewers, a little bit nervous about their offense, but obviously I love their starting pitching. I'm a big fan of the Guardians starting pitching. 9th in starting pitching ERA. Again, Parker Messick, Gavin Williams, Jose Cantillo. They have great starting pitching. I love it. A little bit nervous about their offense. Hopefully, Kwan, Manzardo, DeLauder, Angel Martinez. Hopefully those guys can just help out Jose Ramirez, who's one of the better players in the game. If they can get enough offense, this is a team that's going to stay right there with the Tigers like they were a year ago, in position to make the playoffs and win that division. But right now, like a couple of these other teams, the offense is a little scary right now. Very similar to this team that I have in the 7th spot, down a spot from a week ago, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Just like the Brewers and the Guardians, the offense has cooled down a lot, okay? The Pirates now have the 9th worst team OPS in the game, 5th worst team slugging percentage. If you go back about a week or 2 ago, they were one of the better teams in the game at slugging and OPS. But the reason why this team is still good, they are 4th in team ERA, 4th in starting pitching ERA. Hopefully what we saw from them a couple weeks ago with the offense wasn't a fluke and they can turn it around. This team's going to be able to pitch, especially in the starting pitching. Hopefully the offense can, improve in the over the next couple weeks and this team can stay afloat. But I still like the Pirates. I still like them. I have become a fan of them. I wouldn't be surprised if they, continue to drop a little bit because their offense was maybe in over its head a little bit. But regardless, that is where that's where they're at, the 7th spot. Let's go to the 6th spot, up from the 10th spot a week ago, the Cincinnati Reds. Wow, I talked about them a week ago. I don't know how they've been doing it because their offense is basically a 2-man show. But they are 7th in team ERA, and they are 2nd in bullpen ERA. That is the main reason why they have been able to win a ton of 1-run games. When you can win 1-run games, close games, you need a great bullpen to do that, and they have the 2nd best bullpen in the game right now. I don't know how they're doing it with a 2-man offense, but I got to give them respect. They're in first place, and they've been hot. Ellie De La Cruz might be having that MVP caliber season that we've been waiting for since his rookie year. He's been red hot. A lot of the numbers, underlying metrics, like his chase rate, a lot of that stuff has improved. Playing solid defense, hitting the ball hard. He's one of the more electric players in the game right now. I wanted to put him in my NL MVP voting. I just had some other guys better than him, but Cruz looks great. The Reds look great. I don't know if they're going to be able to maintain this because their offense is really a 2-man show. I expect them to drop at some point, but hey, Cincinnati Reds, they're in first place. They're red hot. You get to be in the 6th spot. Let's go to the 5th spot, the Chicago Cubs. They are 10th in team ERA, 4th in team OPS. So one of the best teams at combining a great offense and great pitching, even with some of their injuries in that rotation. 2nd in the in the league in on-base percentage. A very well-rounded team that also plays great defense. This lineup is scary and deep. Nico Horner at the top. Ian Happ has been great. Seiya Suzuki. We also got Alex Bregman, Pete Crow Armstrong. Like, those guys will get going. You got Carson Kelly behind the plate. He's been hitting. A lot of guys in this lineup are very, very good. They are very deep. I like their rotation. I really like the Chicago Cubs. They're in the 5th spot. Let's go to the 4th spot, the San Diego Padres. 12th in team ERA, a dominant bullpen, one of the better bullpens in the game. The guys, a lot of guys in the rotation are stepping up. They are 7-3 in their last 10. A very sneaky, deep roster. Ramon Laureano, Ty France. A lot of guys in this lineup are stepping up. We are still waiting on a lot of the big guys to get going. I don't know how Fernando Tatis has not hit a home run yet. Even over the weekend when they played in freaking Mexico where the ball flies, he still didn't hit a home run. I don't know how that's possible. But when guys like Machado, when guys like Tatis, when guys like Jackson Merrill get going, this is going to be an even scarier team. They are sneaky deep, like I said, finding a way to win a lot of comeback games. As soon as those guys in the lineup get going, they jump to a scary team. The Padres are 4th. They are 7-3 in their last 10, 4th on my power rankings. Let's go to the 3 spot, same spot they were a week ago, the New York Yankees. By far the best team in the American League right now. Second best starting pitching in the sport. They are 2nd in team ERA. They are just elite in the starting rotation right now. Cam Schlittler and Max Fried are as good as it gets right now. The offense has come around a little bit. They're looking very deep. Cole and Rodon are on their way back. I like where this team is at. Judge is, he's always going to go nuclear. And, Stan did go down over the weekend, but Jazz Chisholm has turned it on a little bit. Cody Bellinger, Austin Wells even hit a home run over the weekend. I like the Yankees. Let's go to the 2 spot. Down a spot for the first time all year. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers. I have one team ahead of them. All right. The Dodgers are still the deepest team in the sport right now. The best run differential in Major League Baseball. The only reason they drop a little bit is they did struggle against the Rockies, the Giants. Bullpen has struggled a little bit. Their bullpen is 18th in bullpen ERA right now, so a little bit of a struggle point for them right now is their bullpen. And really, the team ahead of them is just so hot right now. But they're the 3rd best team ERA in baseball, the best team OPS in the game, best offensive team in the sport right now. Max Muncy has been the best hitter in the NL. They're getting contributions from guys up and down the lineup like Miguel Rojas, Dalton Rushing, Hae-Sung Kim. I mean, a lot of guys are stepping up, and that Shohei Ohtani's about to break out. Kyle Tucker's going to get going. This is the best team in baseball on paper, but right now they are not number 1. That is because I have the Atlanta Braves coming in the 1 spot. For the first time all year, it's not the Dodgers, it's the Atlanta Braves. They are red hot right now. The first team in baseball to 20 wins. They have the 2nd best run differential in Major League Baseball. The best team ERA in the sport. 3rd best starting pitching. And they're 4th in bullpen. So they are pitching it, starting pitching, and bullpen. 2nd best slugging percentage in the game. 2nd best OPS in the game. 3rd lowest strikeout rate. The most runs scored. They have basically been the 2nd best offensive team in the game behind the Dodgers and the best team in baseball when it comes to pitching. That is how you become the best team in the game, the Atlanta Braves. Matt Olson is off to an MVP caliber start. A lot of guys like Michael Harris are back in a big, big way. They are getting contributions from guys up and down the lineup. They look deep. The bullpen is deep. The rotation is deep with the potential to get even deeper with Spencer Strider and a couple guys coming off of the injured list. This team looks scary right now. And for my favorite team, the Dodgers, I am scared to see the Braves because they are right now the best team in the game. They jumped the Dodgers to be at the top of my list. The Braves are looking good right now. So to wrap up, we have the Brewers 10, the Tigers 9, the Guardians 8, the Pirates 7, the Reds 6, the Cubs 5, the Padres 4, the Yankees 3, the Dodgers 2, and the Atlanta Braves 1. Before I get you guys out of here, what to watch this upcoming week. Keep an eye out for this stuff. We have Monday today. We have this week series is the Cubs at Padres, 2 of the hottest teams in baseball right now, squaring off in San Diego. We also have the Tigers in Atlanta to take on the Braves. That's a good series. 2 really good teams. Tuesday, we will have the Yankees taking on the Rangers, and that will feature Cam Schlittler against Jacob deGrom. That's a great pitching matchup. Tuesday as well, Trey Savage, postseason hero for the Blue Jays a year ago, makes his season debut coming off the injured list against the Boston Red Sox. Wednesday as well, you will get to see the Marlins take on the Dodgers in LA. You'll get to see Sandy Alcantara take on Tyler Glasnow, who is my Cy Young favorite right now in the NL. That is all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a fun week of Major League Baseball, and we're looking forward to another fun, exciting week in Major League Baseball. As always, you can get this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of the videos dropping. You can follow us on all social media at Baseball Mondays. That is TikTok, Instagram, and X. You can follow myself at Nick Talkin' Ball on X. Again, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys next Monday to recap everything that happened in Major League Baseball.